Table for two, table for two. Having fun, playing games, just me and you.
Welcome to this edition of The Table for Two Show, starring Jane.
And co-starring Phil.
Okay, yeah, that was stupid. But we have to start off the show something different for a change. I'm sick
I
of
do
the same
hands
thing.
for some reason.
I'm Jane, I'm Phil. Yeah, who cares who the hell you are? Just show us the game.
Exactly.
Sorry, show us the game.
In fact, let's take a look at the latest Tsuro game from Calliope Games.
Oh yeah, there's a new game.
Yes, there is. It is Tsuro Phoenix Rising. It's for players ages 8 and up.
What the hell are you doing?
It's Rising,
What do you think,
Jane.
the X-Men?
It's Rising.
It's not the X-Men Phoenix Rising.
Okay.
That wasn't a great movie either.
Ages 8 and up. 2 to 8 players. 8 players. 2 to 8
Not at my house, there's not going to be 8 players. No way. 2 people? Absolutely. 4? I'll deal with. Mm-hmm. More than that? Nah.
And it takes 20 to 50 minutes to play.
It took us about 40, though.
Yeah.
To be fair. Now, before we get into the game, I want a couple of... You guys are here, sick of probably hearing this, but a couple of things. Number 1, we love you, Vicky. Vicky McKinley, if you're hearing this.
Yes.
You won Trellis like weeks ago, and we really want to send it to you. So send us a note and let us know on our Facebook page how to get a hold of you or where to mail it, and we'd be happy to send you the game Trellis because we really want to mail it.
Yes.
Instead of looking at it anymore. But honestly, if you, and it's not a threat, it's just that the way our contest works, in 30 days, if you don't respond, we do pull another winner. So please don't let another winner win. Not that you, maybe you don't want the game, I don't know.
You change your mind.
But if we don't respond by the time we do our next draw, we are going to pull another winner. So please, Vicky, we want you to win this game. Let us know you're there.
Yes.
And also, at the end of this show today, stay tuned for yet another contest. But you have to wait till the end to hear about it.
Another contest?
Not the one that's on our Facebook poll page right now. That's the normal monthly we're going to be doing every month, but something new. We'll talk about that in just a moment. All right?
Okay.
All right. So why don't you read us the little story about Tsuro? It's a very short story. I think it's really pretty, though. That's why I wanted to read it. And he reads it so well. I'll pour some wine while you're doing that.
Long ago, a vengeful god stole the stars from the sky.
Oh no, it's dark out.
To illuminate the night, the people of the world sent glowing paper lanterns floating toward the heavens.
Ooh, pretty.
This act of hope summoned magical phoenixes, whose enchanted touch turned the colorful lanterns into shining new stars.
Oh.
The cleverest phoenix created a constellation of 7 dazzling stars and restored balance to Tsuro.
Isn't that a pretty story? And that means
path of life.
That means you have to collect 7 stars to win the game.
Yes.
That's told you how to win the game, but it's such a pretty story, I thought.
Yes.
And since we're talking about the sky and stars that are missing, we're drinking wine from the Blue Sky Vineyards.
Yes.
We thought that'd be perfect for today. Blue Sky Vineyards is called Papa's Rosa. Papa's Rosa. It's a red wine, of course.
Yes.
We have to start drinking some white wine. We have to drink red wine.
Yes.
This is actually from Maconda, Illinois, which is Illinois.
Way downstate in Illinois,
Yeah.
and we've mentioned it before. We saw the eclipse. That's when we bought this
Yes,
bottle of
actually,
wine.
we have the glasses. See, it says the solar eclipse.
Yep.
Blue Sky Vineyards. That's where we saw it. Cheers.
Wonder if we'll see the next one in 2024. Ooh, that's pretty good.
A little sweet.
A little sweet.
A little sweet.
Well, it was meant to be drunk
some crackers.
fairly soon, so
That was good, but it's sweet.
yeah, that's good.
Not bad. No offense to Blue Sky. It's good. It needs to air up a little. Or,
Yeah.
air out. It's going to air out. Okay, Phil. So let's talk a little. So first of all, this game, a lot of you know this already, but I'm going to show it in case you don't know. The original is called Tsuro, the Game of the Path.
Yes.
Basically, you're taking these little stones and you're building a path of tiles and you're moving around, and there's all sorts of ways to play it and win. And as a matter of fact, the iPad has a really good version of Tsuro to play against your people on the cloud per se.
Yes.
So check that out if you haven't seen that. But it's a really basic, easy game.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say easy, but it's easy to learn. I like Tsuro. Then they came out with Tsuro of the Seas.
Wait, you made fun of my Phoenix Rising, and now
And basically, this is the water one, which is you're still building a path, but you're
bobbing around.
You're bobbing around some water. No, it's really good. But this one, Phoenix Rising, the components are different. The play is actually different.
Yes.
than the others. A lot different, especially more different than the first, original edition. So as you know, we're going to have the link, below us. Click that link to see the picture playthrough. So if you're interested in seeing this game, you'll actually see pictures and how we played the game. But for this, show, we'll show you some of the components.
Yes.
So let's talk about some of the differences, especially.
Right. So, the original game, you have the tiles, the stones, and a table. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So in here, you actually have these, it's actually 4 pieces put together.
It's like a board to put the tiles. Or it's Doctor Who's TARDIS.
Oh, wait, I don't want to get in copyright.
Actually, when I look at it this way, I thought it really looked like the TARDIS this way. But a black TARDIS, because they're usually white on the inside of the TARDIS.
And this way, it's a muffin pan.
This way, well, very little muffin. Somebody had said that on our Facebook page, and Jason, I think.
So, seriously.
He's going to send us baked goods.
Oh.
He said he would. I'll have to figure out how to do
Well, I'm going to wait for that.
Yeah.
So the first thing you notice is that the tiles fit nicely into this side of the board.
Yes, they do.
And you can kind of lift them up by pushing on the corners, which is very convenient.
Well, that's the best part because instead of having to go, I can't get the tile off the table.
Right. You don't disturb the tiles around it. Yes, very nice. And the other thing that's different about this game and why you have this board, you start with a 4x4 grid in the middle of the board, leaving only the outside empty. And that kind of makes it real nice to kind of
You
lay
actually
those cards
start with tiles, which is different than the other games.
Yes.
And then what you're doing is you have what's called edge tiles that you're going to be filling in the edges with, which we'll look at. You'll see that in the playthrough, but that is different, that you start with tiles on the table. Way different. Yes. Now, instead of, again, in the normal version or the original version of Tsuro, you get these little beautiful, by the way, stones that you're using to move along the path. Right. In this game, we are that phoenix, and we're trying to get the stars to come back. So we each get a little phoenix. Isn't it cute?
Very cute.
Now, I have to mention, this is the Kickstarter edition of the game that we received. So I don't want to say 100% all the things I'm going to show you will be in your edition, but I'm pretty sure, like almost 99% sure, the phoenixes that come with the game normally are these normal, like muted colors, like blue and yellow and orange and black. It looks like
gray,
white.
Yeah.
It's basically the same colors that were in the original Tsuro stones. So that's kind of neat. But with the Kickstarter edition, we also got these beautiful fluorescent phoenixes.
Yes.
And you'll see the ones that we used in the game with the playthrough. Philip used the red, and I used the purple one. So I think they're really, really pretty. You get 8, of course, 8 of each kind. So if you do have that 8-player game,
yeah,
good luck, good for you. Now, Philip also mentioned that we're collecting stars in this game. Well, there are no stars in the original Tsuro. That is true. But on some of the tiles, it's hard to maybe see, but there's like a little lantern. So when you place your 4x4 grid, there's 7 lanterns that match yellow in this case, match that lantern. So they kind of sit out there. And the goal is to move your phoenix past them.
Yes.
And when you move past them, you actually, you birth a star. a star appears near the lantern, and then you move the lantern to another area where there's another lantern. But the point is you get to start collecting these stars by moving past the lanterns and birthing the star, yay, and then collecting them and hopefully going to win by getting 7 of them. So it's really easy. And they give you this big old bag of stars, because again, you could have that 8-player game.
Yeah.
I do like some, I don't know other people. And I do. And then the other difference is when you're actually, moving your phoenix along the path. And in the old game, I should say old game, but the original game, you can lose by realizing you don't have a proper tile that will let you move. It actually takes you right off the table.
Yeah.
And when that happens in original Tsuro, you're off the table.
Right.
You're
or
done.
your opponent could put a tile down that sends you off the table.
Or send you off the table. So basically you could lose the game that way. In this version, you can do the same thing. You can be kicked off the table by making the wrong move. But each person starts the game off with an extra life, like a token.
Yes. Because you're a phoenix.
You're a phoenix, right? So what's kind of cool is if you fall off the table, for a better word, or if you get off the table, you can say, I'm going to spend on your next turn. You could spend your extra life, and then you can take your phoenix back onto the game board as long as one of the edges are still empty.
Yes.
If it's not, you lose.
Yeah.
You basically don't get to win and you don't get to play, and then the other guy wins. Well, there's more than 2 people.
Yes, right.
Other people can win. But
right.
In that case, yeah. So the components are a lot different. The theme is a lot different, obviously. But then I like the idea of the 16 tiles in the middle. Because in the normal original game, you place a tile, you move your not phoenix, but your stone, in this case, a phoenix. You do that here too. But if you place your tile, you move your Phoenix, and now you're against another tile. That tile is now in play for your next turn. And you could literally you could actually take that tile and you could move it around to a different way to move a different direction. Mm-hmm. You can flip it, use the other side to move around a different direction.
Yes.
Versus, again, the old game, you just have to place your next tile to move.
Yeah, in the old game, they were single-sided tiles, too.
Yeah.
Real quickly on the tiles, so in the old game, and this is similar to the old game, one side has these normal 8 connecting points. Nothing goes through the corners, no diagonal movement.
That's true, too. Good point.
But in this game, one side has some or a lot of diagonal movement. And that actually allows your stone to stop against another stone, and then you, next turn, flip it over to get yourself out of there.
And so we really like this because, again, we're addicted to the original Tsuro. We're playing on the iPad and everything else. But this one gave us a little more to think about. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just place and move, place and move. It was place, move, and maybe if I move there, next turn I could turn that tile and get past another lantern, hopefully, and get another star. Mm-hmm. And admittedly, Philip did win.
Yep, I got the 7 stars.
He got 7.
I think you had 5 or 6.
4 or 5, I think. Yeah. No, I think 4 or 5. But then the other thing is you have to determine who's first player. Mm-hmm. You guys know me. I love being first player. And I love these rules. Lately, it feels like a lot of the games we play, the youngest player goes first. And I don't know why that a lot of game companies are doing that, but I'm younger than Phil, so I'm always like, yay me. But what's really cool is the first player token is really cool. It's like this dragon cutout. I just think this is such a pretty, pretty piece. The artwork in this game, I know a lot of you know this from the old Tsuro even, is just so beautiful. And it's actually a relaxing game. And I'm going to sound like one of those old people, but we actually, sometimes we meditate and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a meditative type game. You're thinking you're doing strategic movement, but it's kind of flowy and pretty.
I call it a left and right brain game. You've got that analytical, methodical side, and then you've got that creative and artistic side of the game. The art behind it is wonderful.
Yeah, it really is. And I think this comes with just the Kickstarter. I'm not 100% sure. But they actually gave us this booklet called The Art of Tsuro, and it actually shows the original artwork from the original game all the way through, the Phoenix Rising game. And it's just the history of the art, and it's just so pretty. It's a nice book. It's
even
very nice
things
book.
like the lanterns, you can see the drawings of the lanterns. Like they really put a lot of thought into the components of the game.
So again, I don't know if this book is with every game. Maybe it is. I'm not 100% sure, so don't yell at me later. But they're celebrating their 10th anniversary. Mm-hmm. So happy anniversary, Calliope Games. Yep. We once again are very pleased with one of your games. We always are. We haven't really had a bad Calliope game, to be honest with you. So check it out. Take a look at our link below. Now you might say, Jane, you mentioned something about a contest. Okay, so let's just first remind you again. On our Facebook page, there is a poll that you can take for last month's games that we played and pick the one you might want to buy. Not buy, you don't have to buy it. We're going to give it to you. Win. But because we did the Kickstarter campaign for Tsuro Phoenix Rising, I'm a little crazy. I always go with the biggest, donation, or whatever you want to call it. So you might say, oh, Jane, you just showed us the original game and you showed us the Seas game. Well, we already have these.
Yes.
This is because we bought the big package and they gave us a copy of each of these as well as the new version. So next month you could win the new version, just so you know. That's going to be the poll for next month for last month's games. But right now, this moment, if you are watching this video, down below, comment if you would prefer original Phoenix. I swear I didn't drink my... It's the old age thing again.
Game of the Path.
What is it called?
Game of the Path. The original.
Tsuro the original. Just say Tsuro the original.
The brown one.
Or Tsuro of the Seas, which is the
blue one.
Nautical one. The blue one, yeah. So just below, write down. You know what I mean. Type down there which game you prefer to win. And then what we'll do is, like we did last time with Trellis, we'll just take all the names, put them in a hat.
Yep.
And then we'll pick 2 names. And obviously, if whoever wins this one, and whoever wins this one, wins this one.
Right.
That's how we'll do it. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, old school picking out of a hat, but it's easier than doing 2 polls right now and getting people confused on our Facebook page. Don't forget to like this video if you did like it, even though we were silly today. We did like this game a lot. Hopefully you do too. Don't forget to take a look at the picture review below. Again, all the likes we can get are great. All the subscriptions we can get are great, as well as share with your friends if you like us. It would be very nice if you share. You might have also noticed on our Facebook page, I did just post another YouTuber's link. It's just because I like her so much, Colleen Ballinger. She's doing a children's cancer fund drive right now. She does it every year in November for her birthday. I've contributed already. I'm hoping, the small group of people who watch our show will take a peek at it. Even if you give $5 or $2, she doesn't care. She just wants to help those kids. And I really believe in her and what she does. So take a look at that link if you have a chance on our Facebook page. Otherwise, we will see you. I didn't even get to drink any of my drink. But you say goodbye and I'll drink.
I'll say goodbye. Thank you for watching our show. And stay tuned for another show in a week.
See you next week.